Like, what was the creators thinking when they created this character? Like, were they just thinking about all the stereotypes in their head and they was like, okay, let's put this all into Dijonay? Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Natea and this is Aesthetics, bringing you content that is aesthetic, authentic, and all about activism. Today we are talking about colorism in the Proud family, and we're also reacting to I Am Eloho's most recent video talking about this subject. So before we hop into the topic of discussion, I just want to let y'all know that This Week in Aesthetics and The Colorful Philosophy are collabing on social media this week. We kicked off the collab with a Mindflow Monday, celebrated International Women's Day, highlighting Black women's accomplishments, and also on Wednesday, which was yesterday, we did a post about colorism, which is what we're talking about today on this channel. And then on Friday, we'll be releasing a blog post. And I want all of y'all to go follow both The Colorful Philosophy and Aesthetics so y'all don't miss the collab and y'all can catch up. So now let's hop into this video talking about the Proud family, the upcoming spinoff, the Proud family Louder and Prouder, and colorism in the Proud family. So first of all, shout out to my cousin for, telling me that I should do a video on this. Because at first I was like, should I do a video on this? And I was like, yeah, I mean, if it's perfectly, because, talking about colorism on social media this week. So I might as well, do a video about it. And this is a topic of interest of mine. So first, let's start off with what is colorism. Colorism is differential treatment based on skin color, especially favoritism toward those with a lighter skin tone, and mistreatment or exclusion of those with a darker skin tone, typically among those of the same racial group or ethnicity. So now that we know what colorism is, now let's talk about the Proud family. The Proud family is a Black American animated series that aired in 2001 on Disney. The Proud Family show is centered around the main character, Penny Proud, who's 14 years old, centered around her family, and her friends. More recently, they are coming out with a spinoff on Disney Plus, and it's going to be called The Proud Family Louder and Prouder. I personally watched The Proud Family growing up, and I love the show. I just love seeing a Black animated show on television growing up. It was so funny, and I've binge watched the show on Disney Plus so many different times since Disney Plus has been out. So I definitely love the show, but the show does have its problems with colorism. So recently, I Am Eloho did a video talking about the colorism. Well, she did two videos. So she did a video in the past about colorism in your favorite Black sitcoms, and I love her channel, by the way. Y'all should definitely go subscribe. And then she made another video more recently because someone on Twitter mentioned the creator of the Proud family on Twitter, and she was like, your show perpetuates colorism, and she wanted some answers.
So, book written by Ella on Twitter made a really good point, okay? And she basically questioned, the creator of the Proud family, Bruce Almighty, on Twitter, and she called him out. And her first tweet was, look at how Disney Plus portrays Dijonay in comparison to other lighter-skinned characters. Dijonay looks like a caricature of an argumentative, fat, dark-skinned Black woman, and at this point, it's intentionally to continually portray dark-skinned Black female characters like this.
If you look at how Dijonay is compared to Penny and La Cienega, those two characters, just like look at her stance, look at how they have her standing, look at her lips, look at how they have her dressed, look at how she has her hand on her hip. Like, compared to Penny and La Cienega, they just have smiles. Dijonay, she has like a mean mug. Like, you can tell like how they are perpetuating colorism through this character when you put these characters side by side. Why is it that Penny and La Cienega have soft faces? They look docile, they look gentle, they look all sweet and innocent, but then when you get to Dijonay, her face, it looks like she's upset or she has like an attitude. I feel like this really perpetuates the stereotypes of Black women, like having an attitude, and then with like her hand being on her hip, like that shows like you're perpetuating a stereotype. And then also she's wearing a crop top, or she's just wearing clothes that's like too small for her. And like these are 14-year-olds. I know for me personally, I wasn't wearing crop tops when I was 14 years old. I think that's a little too young for, in my personal opinion, like to be wearing crop tops. But I feel like some 14-year-olds do wear crop tops. But for me personally, growing up, I wasn't wearing crop tops. And I feel like, I might be reaching, but I feel like with Dijonay, with how they have her showing her stomach, and like the crop top is like showing that she's like promiscuous, and the way that they just like didn't cover her whole body. Like, why is she the only character that's not fully dressed? Like, why? Dijonay's eyes are also low. Her hand is out. Her stomach is out. And it's like what was the creators thinking when they created this character? And when, like, were they just thinking about all the stereotypes in their head, and they was like, okay, let's put this all into Dijonay? I feel like black girls already are deemed as fast and too grown growing up. So I feel like through her character, that's what they're portraying how black girls are seen as fast and are seen as grown at such a young age. And I don't know, it's just like this character perpetuates so many different stereotypes, and I didn't realize this growing up, to be honest. I didn't realize it until I got older, because when you're younger, I feel like you don't really know what it is. Like, okay, now we know, like, this is colorism and this is perpetuating a stereotypes. We didn't really know about stereotypes growing up. But I feel like even for younger people to see this, young dark-skinned girls to see this, like, even if they don't know exactly what it is that they're seeing, that this is colorism, that this is a stereotype, it's still sending a message to that dark-skinned girl. It's still sending a message that, oh, this is how society sees us when they look at the character Dijonay. So I feel like it's very important to not have stereotypical representation on television, because the messaging that it sends to younger girls and younger black folks, or of any ethnicity, when you perpetuate stereotypes on TV, it sends a message to young people who are watching it like, oh, this is who we are.
Oh my God, is this who we are? Is this what we represent?
I feel like through Dijonay's character, they're portraying black women in a negative light. And then also they deemed her as undesirable, because if you ever watched the show, then you know Sticky, she was in love with Sticky, but then Sticky like did not like her at all, but she was always chasing after him. Like, just deeming like dark-skinned black women as undesirable. And then we have Penny over here, who's a lighter-skinned black woman, and she's not going through the same thing. Instead, she's like popular. She seemed as like the one that always listens to her parents. She's like the nice black woman. It's like the black girl that you look up to, whereas Dijonay is like the negative stereotype that you don't want to be. So it's really interesting how they portrayed these characters and how they drew out these characters in this show.
So written by Ella then goes on to at the animator, and she says, at Bruce Almighty, answer my question. You are purposefully pushing colorist tropes and stereotypes years later, and this hasn't changed. And this was his response.
So the creator's response to this woman's tweet, I feel like it just shows that what black women have been saying this whole time, like, y'all do not be listening to us. Whenever we try to speak on colorism, whenever we try to speak on anything that's affecting us, if we say we feel unsupported, then y'all want to disregard it, then y'all want to look at us and then walk away. Like, for what though? Like, black women, y'all need to listen to us when we say that we have a problem with something, or that this makes us feel a certain type of way. And I feel like for the creator to just disregard her comment was disrespectful, and that he just really doesn't care. And I don't know, maybe in the upcoming spinoff, like Dijonay, maybe her character has changed. I'm hoping she has. Okay, I'm hoping that they have her grown up to be a successful Black woman. Just that they probably gonna have Penny and La Cienega and what's the girl name? Zoe. Yeah, just like I hope that they have a good storyline for Dijonay. I hope that they do that, because I don't know if he's disregarding it because, you know, he's changed the storyline, or he's disregarding it because he really doesn't care. Because I would hate for the show to be released on Disney Plus and y'all still perpetuating stereotypes of Dijonay. Like, in 2001, maybe y'all didn't know better, but it's 2021 now and y'all should know better. Y'all should definitely know better. So if y'all still perpetuating stereotypes through these characters, I'm gonna be real upset. I can't wait to see the show. Like, I'm excited, but I'm also a little bit nervous because I really hope Dijonay's character does not continue to perpetuate stereotypes. I really hope it doesn't, because why would you continue to do that when you know better? Like, you should know better by now. But I feel like this really shows that y'all need to listen to Black women and y'all need to learn how to support Black women. In my most recent post with the Colorful Philosophy, where we talked about colorism, we also gave some resources on how to support Black women and how to not continue to perpetuate those stereotypes. So those are going to be our action items for this video, and I'm going to put them on the screen. So the first action item is to recognize your white or light skin privilege. And for me personally, being a lighter skinned Black woman, I always check my privilege, and I always try to make sure I'm listening and learning about the plight of dark skinned Black women, because our plight is different. There is a such thing as light skin privilege. I think it's important for us lighter skinned Black people and just lighter skinned people in general to recognize our privilege and recognize that colorism is real. Just because we come from the same ethnic background or we come from the same race, that does not mean that colorism doesn't exist within our own ethnic communities. So please recognize your privilege. I definitely try to check my privilege all the time and make sure that I'm not perpetuating any stereotypes. I try to make sure that I'm listening to Black women, especially dark-skinned Black women, when they say they feel a certain type of way, because some stories of how they feel, those are some things that I've never felt. But I try to empathize with them and understand them and share their stories because I feel like it's important. But that's the first action item, is to check your white privilege or your light skin privilege. And colorism exists across all different communities, not just Black communities. It happens all across the world. So, you know, this is not just for Black folks. This is for everybody. Action item number 2 is to self-reflect. Do you have any biases that are implicit or explicit that perpetuate colorism? Because some people, y'all be outright colorists. Some of these rappers be outright colorists and they just really don't care. They just be putting it in their songs. They be saying it in interviews. We all know that Lil Wayne song, that Young Money song, I like her long hair, thick red bone. Like, we know that song. And even now, Lil Wayne continues to perpetuate colorism in his music, like, till this day. So recognize, like, if you have any biases, explicit or implicit, that perpetuate colorism. Like, do you have these ideas that light-skinned people or people of lighter skin tones are more gentle and docile, where you see dark-skinned people as more aggressive? Like, what are your thoughts? Okay, I'm gonna need you to self-reflect with them thoughts, because you shouldn't be deeming dark-skinned people as aggressive and light-skinned people as gentle. That's not right, because that's not true. Period. The third action item is to educate yourself. Read articles and books about colorism. In this post as well, we mentioned some books that you can read that talk about colorism. So definitely make sure you're educating yourself on colorism so you understand fully what it is and you can understand the stories of colorism and why it is such an important topic to understand and empathize with. Number 4, educate others. Discuss colorism with your peers. Share this post, share this video, you know, just because, like, we have friends, maybe we might not be colorists, you know, but we might have friends and family that are colorists who perpetuate colorism. So it's important that we're educating others as well. And I feel like, especially like when it comes to different topics, like within the LGBTQ community, some of us might not be homophobic, but some of your friends and family are. So that's why it's always important to educate other people, even though technically it's not our responsibility to be anybody's Google search or anything like that. But if you see somebody perpetuating colorism, you need to educate them. I feel like it's not right to be a bystander and just sit there and let people talk down on dark-skinned women or talk down on someone when you know that that's not the facts and that's not true. The last action item is to check yourself and others. If you or anyone else is perpetuating colorism, take accountability and hold others accountable. So just like I was saying, educate others and hold people accountable, because you can't just let people say stuff like that around you when you don't believe it. You got to stand up and you got to be an ally. And if you catch yourself perpetuating colorism, check yourself, be like, oh yeah, actually I need to take accountability and I need to work on that. Okay, so those are the action items for this video. That's all I really had to say. Like, I'm just a little bit nervous about this series, and I'm also excited, but I really hope that they're not gonna continue to do Dijonay like that, because Dijonay does not deserve that at all. Like, she does not deserve to be a stereotype, okay? And black women, dark-skinned black women, do not deserve to see Dijonay portrayed on television like that, because I know that doesn't make dark-skinned black women feel good at all. Not at all. Like, just imagine having to see that stereotype on television, knowing that it's not true. And then that's why people outside of the black community, when they see characters like Dijonay, when they meet a dark-skinned black woman in person, they expect them to be like Dijonay. They already have these preconceived notions in their head because of what they see on television. So when you perpetuate these stereotypes on television, that puts stuff in the people's head and make them think that this is who we really are, when this is not who we are. So, take these action items. Make sure you do at least one of them, 2 of them, 3 of them, all of them, whatever. And I hope you all enjoyed this video. I will see y'all in the next one. Don't forget to go follow The Colorful Philosophy and Aesthetics on Instagram. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.